Stefanos Panagiotou. I work as a machine learning engineer at Quadible. And today in my talk, I will present the SOUD component, which stands for seamless onboarding for users and devices. So I will start with a brief introduction on what seamless onboarding brings to the TANGO ecosystem. Then I will outline the technical feature of this component. And then I will close the presentation with a hands-on display on how SOUD is used in reality. So let's begin with the current landscape of the identity verification space and the challenges it presents. We are witnessing a continuous rise in digital fraud, a trend that has been accelerated dramatically during and after the COVID-19 pandemic, as we know. Moreover, traditional identity checks that often involve physical documents remain vulnerable to forgery and human error. On the digital front, most identity systems are fragmented, they are expensive, or they lack sufficient security that makes them unreliable at scale. And on top of that, users often feel excluded from this process. They don't have complete visibility, control, or ownership over their own identity data. And meanwhile, the organizations face increasing pressure, not just from fraud, but from their growing operational burden and the cost to maintain secure identity systems. So for these challenges, we have exactly designed SOUD to be solved. So to give an outline of the aspects of SOUD, it's one of the first open source solutions to offer strong identity verification that is aligned with a high level of assurance under the eIDAS regulation. It stands for Electronic Identification, Authentication and Trust Services. So this solution enables remote and secure onboarding using something that nearly every user already has, a valid identity document, such as a passport or eID. And most importantly, it does not require a human verifier in this loop. So SOUD converts the physical identity data into verifiable credentials using the SSI, self-sovereign identity. And this means that users can now have a secure and digital proof of the identity that they can actually control. And I should note that from the ground up, the system is privacy preserving and secure. The identity data is processed locally on the user's device. And this means that nothing is stored or sent elsewhere. So only the final verification result is shared. And at last, the SOUD connects with national or organizational registries to cross-check and validate the identity. So this ensures trust at every step of the process. So from a technical perspective now, SOUD is implemented as an Android application. So it is designed for usability and security on mobile devices. This app is capable of collecting and securely processing the key personal information of the users. So this includes the face image and identity details that are contained in the user's passport or electronic ID. And once this data is collected, SOUD integrates with the SSI systems. So it can accept a credential offer, verify the user's identity locally, and then it can transmit the verified data to the SSI issuer. And at last, the issuer generates a secure, reusable, verifiable credential. So another aspect of SOUD from the technical side, SOUD incorporates optical character recognition to be able to retrieve and convert into a digital form the identity data that are available on the identity document. The NFC chip reading enables the retrieval of the identity information, including the facial image of the identity owner. that is stored on the NFC chip, which is available on most passports nowadays. Moreover, the blurriness detection mechanism enables the detection and discarding of potentially blurry images. And when the user is taking the selfie image to prove that they are the owner of this identity document that is suggested to the app. And furthermore, the liveness detection part prevents malicious user to try to utilize an identity document that obviously does not belong to them during this process. So malicious users can present an image, a video, or a mask at the camera when the user is about to take the required selfie that we will show in the next part. And this mechanism detects these actions. And at last, the face matching component performs this verification among the facial images that are retrieved from the camera of the smartphone, from the NFC chip of the passport, and from the image of the identity document. So, since I have covered the introduction and the technical outline of the component, at this part, I can present the actual user experience when interacting with SOUD. Before that, there are some requirements before using SOUD for the identity verification. These are just some simple steps from the user side. First of all, the user needs a passport or a national ID that includes the NFC chip. And these are now standard in most countries. As a second step, the user needs an Android smartphone that has NFC capability. So the NFC reader can scan the chip embedded in the document. This is similar to how the contactless payments work nowadays. And the third requirement is obviously to install the e-passport app, so we can start the onboarding flow. At this step, the user launches the e-passport app, and as a next step, he clicks on the Get Credential Offer button. So the SSI wallet should open automatically. Then the user has to accept in the next screen of the wallet, the Accept Credential Offer, and then a button that displays Authenticate with e-passport application will appear. The user will click on this button and he will be forwarded back to the e-passport application. So as a next step, when the user is forwarded back in the e-passport application, he has to click the onboard identity document and run through the steps where he gives his consent to use the app. So first of all, he reads through the description of the app, he clicks next, and then he reads through the description of what data is collected from the app. So moving on from this screen, the user has to choose the identity document that he will use. So in this demo, we'll use the passport. At the next step, he has to choose and select the country from which the identity document was issued. And now the next step, we are informed that we need to take a photo of the identity document. Obviously, some permissions need to be granted in the smartphone device to enable the camera. And at this point, we can take a photo of the identity document. We have to make sure that we are in a well-lit environment, try to center the document in the image, and the app will automatically capture the image once the passport is detected. So as a next step, we need to make sure that the image is not blurry, the information is visible. So we can either take a new picture or proceed with selecting that the photo is clear. And then on the next step, we have to place the device on the smartphone device on top of the passport, as shown in the right image. So we need also to make sure that the NFC reader is enabled in the device, and the NFC tag is on the back cover. Once the NFC tag is accessed by the device in the app, the user will hear a short sound to confirm that the NFC reading is successful. And in the next step, the user can start the document scanning, and the machine readable zone from the passport is also retrieved to access the identity information. And then we can proceed to the selfie part. So in this part, a camera preview screen will be displayed, and will allow the user to take a selfie to cross-check, as previously mentioned, that the facial image of the person in the identity document matches with the actual image of the person. And when the image is taken, we can again make sure that the photo is clear, and if it's not, we can take a new picture. And if all these steps are performed successfully, the app performs validation of the information retrieved from the optical character recognition against information that was gathered through the NFC chip to finally verify the identity of the person. So in the final screen, if everything is successful, we showcase the facial image of the person and the information from the passport. So the last step is for the user to click the Submit to Issuer button. He then should be forwarded to the SSI wallet and click Accept. So then he will have received the passport verifiable credential. So this concludes my presentation. I want to thank you for your attention.